Hey, what's happening guys? I'm ika.himee and welcome to my channel, and I am sorry that today's video is not more interesting. I have been going through some very severe art block. I mean, I wouldn't really call it art block because it's like I'm still feeling creative, but it's more like art burnout where I don't really feel like doing much of anything because I literally spent basically the whole month of December just working on gifts and stuff, and a lot of it was stuff that like is really not stuff that I feel incredibly passionate about. Like none of them I was super stoked to really do. The last one was probably the most fun, but also the most challenging for me because it was such a huge canvas and it was acrylic, which is something that I don't really use all that much. It is something that I mean, I have some experience with, but I still don't use it all that much, and especially not on a scale that large. So it was a lot to deal with, and it just took so much time, and it was just constantly working on it, and I'm honestly so thankful to really have it done. I think I have to touch up one spot that ended up like not getting paint on it somehow. So I have to do that, and then I'll be sealing it and it'll be completely finished. But yeah, that's basically out of my life, so I'm happy about that. But today I am just going through and making an official swatch thing for my new watercolor palette. I've never quite done this before. Of course, I have never actually done a custom watercolor palette before. So these are all new watercolors. I have some Daniel Smith watercolors, and I have Holbein watercolors, which I was super excited about because I've been wanting to try those watercolors out for a while. If any of you know, I'm sure you do, but I've always just had the Sakura Koi travel kit, and I think that one has 18 colors, and it has been really brilliant for, you know, the years that I've had it, but I feel like it was just really time to kind of grow up and move on and experience more things and different materials. So I've been really trying to get my hands on some higher quality watercolors for a while now, so I'm really excited to finally have these, and it is kind of a bit of a learning experience for sure, because all of the watercolors come in tubes, which is what I'm not used to, and I, you know, specifically wanted to get some in tubes because I did want to make a custom watercolor palette. I really wanted to have the freedom to have full control over what was in my palette so that I could pick colors that I felt really connected to and that I thought I would use more often than other colors, because there are colors in my Sakura palette that just don't get used as much as some other colors. I think I do pretty much use all of them, but there are just some that I just don't use as much, and I really like the freedom to pick the colors and stuff like that. Of course, the watercolors that I have, they in this palette specifically, belong to both Daniel Smith and Holbein. I tested them to see how they, you know, mixed and blended together, and they did fine. Holbein is a bit smoother. Daniel Smith is a granulating watercolor, so the stronger pigments kind of seep into like the texture of the page, so it kind of like provides more texture, which is something I'm not super used to. The thing is, like with the Sakura Koi watercolors, is that some colors would be very smooth and a couple of like your darker blues and stuff would be a bit more granulating. So I'm not really used to using granulating colors intentionally. So it's going to be a very fun experience for me messing around with them and using the texture of the paper to apply texture to the artwork itself. So I'm really excited to, you know, create some more pieces. I also did get some gouache. I've done a test piece with the gouache, and I'm not very good at it, but it is very fun to work with, so I'm excited to work with it more and learn a bit more about it and how to apply it to my specific art style, since I don't really know how to apply those colors and those materials to my artwork specifically. So it's a lot of a learning curve, and I'm really doing my best to to deal with that. But yeah, so this is my first time doing a color swatch like this, and this one I keep like in the palette itself, so I can keep track of what the colors are. I can get a lot more vibrancy out of the colors than what I got on this particular swatch. I feel like I was a little bit light-handed on it, but for the most part, you know, it's the general idea of the swatch, so these are the colors that are pretty much in there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that watching me swatch colors wasn't too terribly boring for you. I'm having some issues with my shop, and my shop might be closing down soon, so if you'd like to order something, I recommend doing that as soon as possible because it will be going away soon. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!